Hi, I'm Matthew Jones,
I'm Anthony Futia.
and today on our newest episode of our video podcast gaming thing, we'll figure out a name for it eventually. We're talking about the new Nintendo system.
Finally, man.
The
It's
Nintendo
finally.
Switch. Yes, the NX has finally been named, and now we have
The Switch.
the Switch.
I
Which
thought it wasn't going to be announced until next year, or
Yeah,
any
it's-
videos or anything.
I didn't know when we were going to get anything at this
Yeah.
point, because it was like, all right, when is Nintendo going to give us any information? You're talking you want to release around March, and you haven't given us anything yet. But they gave us a trailer with they first gave us a creepy picture of Mario yesterday, like the other day, like, hey, we got an announcement, and then the Twitch, and then they brought the console, and here it is. This is
So,
it.
what do you think of the design?
The design is pretty cool. So it's a little more adult than Nintendo is used to looking like. A little more subdued, and it's an interesting controller design. But I think the big thing about it is that it's a system meant for at home and for, and for on the go.
So, this is my first time actually looking at it, like, really up close. I actually thought this was, like, a camera or something like that. But, do you know what this is right here?
I don't. The controller is meant to split.
Yeah.
So as the system's meant to also be on the go system, the two ends on the side controller go on the ends of the
Yeah.
screen that travels, and those can also be turned into their own side controller for multiplayer. And actually, I'll show a couple things because this is just what the system looks like. One of the ways you play it at the house, but. So like, hey, yeah, you're playing it on the controller that way, with the system plugged in, with a game that looks a lot like Skyrim,
Hint, hint.
hint, but no confirmation that that's exactly what it is. But then they're also talking like, oh, you can play this you can take it with you on the go. You can use the controller parts as is. You can separate them. You can just set up like a little kickstand with your headphones and all that, and play it on the go, or you can also like take it in your car. The controller parts can be split into multiplayer controller parts. So, as in this instance, it's showing, hey, I can play Mario Kart with two people on the one console, which is pretty cool. But this is what it looks like when you're moving around with it on your own, like its own system. It looks a lot like the Wii U gamepad. But, you can move the parts around. It's pretty cool.
Questions right now. What's the price going to be, and what's the specs? I think.
All right, so...
We don't know.
We don't know, and I think that's some of the big questions. I'm guessing it's probably going to be somewhere in the 300, 350 range. It really depends on how powerful the whole thing is. The system's running on NVIDIA graphics technology, customware and whatnot. NVIDIA put a statement on their website regarding it, saying that it was going to be pretty powerful the way it was, which that'll be cool. It's going to be interesting to see how this works mobile if most of the power is in the screen when you're traveling around versus the docking station. We'll see exactly how that's going to work. I think for me, a big question at that point is, what's the battery life going to be?
Exactly.
I think perfection would be 10 hours. Realistic 5 to 6 is probably a decent range. Less than that, I don't know if that's going to be a huge sell, but it all depends on how much power you can get into the little thing that way.
And the charging dock, it's supposed to charge the gamepad, correct?
Yeah,
or we don't really know.
From what we can see, it's From what we can see, it looks like I don't know exactly how much power is just in the Switch station itself, versus in the screen. I'm assuming most of the power is in the screen.
So I'm hoping we have something we can charge it on the go.
Yeah, that'll be kind of cool. I'm sure there'll be probably a power cable. The question really is how much hardware is actually in this Switch case versus what's just in the screen that you dock it into.
I'm curious too. Looks like a shell.
Yeah, exactly.
Really nothing.
And I'm guessing that's where like your HDMI ports are, your regular power ports are. anything else that way.
Because if we're gonna play Smash, and we want the GameCube controllers. There better be
USB ports on the back.
Yeah.
The only other question that way is that there's no sight of a spot for a disk drive or
Right.
anything like that, which would make this non-compatible, backwards compatible as far as you know with the Wii U.
Unless they did eShop Wii and
Unless they
Wii
did
U.
eShop Wii U, which is a possibility.
But is it gonna be touchscreen?
Is it? And that's the other thing too. Is like, is this a touchscreen? It could be a touchscreen. It's not necessarily. They didn't show anything that would say, "Hey, this is going to be a touchscreen device." But they didn't say anything. They didn't say anything that said that it wouldn't be a touchscreen device either. The trailer was good enough to kind of keep certain things hidden and not. And then this is what the Pro controller looks like.
I like it.
It looks a lot like an Xbox controller, which is great for me. Sorry, PlayStation fans, but it looks a lot like an Xbox controller, and it looks like it feels a lot like an Xbox controller.
So hopefully that's packaged with the system.
Hopefully it's packed in the system. I would probably put it as an add-on,
Yeah.
but
That's what the Wii U was, right? You had to
But,
buy
and
the-
then that's the other question too: is like, could my Wii U Pro controller
play with this.
work on this? Or is anything going to be compatible with each other? Unfortunately, in that instance, there's still a lot of that we just don't know what they're going to do. But I mean, the design, the slickness of it looks pretty cool overall. Here's a picture of it. Playing it on the go. The new Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Let's talk about the other games.
And it looks
they
awesome.
showed.
Yeah, I mean, they also showed a glimpse of a new Mario game.
Exciting.
That is exciting. The possibility of a new Mario game. If it's a launch title, that'd be super cool. I don't think it'll be a launch title. I think it'll probably be like a holidays next year or mid-year title to drop in and give the system a big boost. I mean, the system's already going to have The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild as a launch title, which
That's
would
all
be
you
pretty
need
big
right
for
now.
it. But yeah, I mean, in a sense, for a portable system, it looks really cool. It looks like a decent size. The way the joysticks are and all. There's no D-pad on the regular thing, which is a little strange, but it has like the
buttons.
the arrow directional buttons,
Yeah.
kind of like an N64 controller used to have that way. And the other cool thing that it looks is that and which brings back to the no CD drive, they're gone to a cartridge again. These games are going to be on digital cartridges.
I wonder if you could fit 3DS cartridges.
That's
in
a
that.
that's a good question. They obviously make it so you can't fully see what the cartridge looks
Yeah.
like that you're putting it into. Just that it is a game cartridge slot, like the DS has, like any of those other ones I've seen that have used carts before. I've seen people kind of complain about the using the solid media. I don't see what the big deal is because you can make giant size SD cards that can hold a lot of
Oh, yeah.
data, and that's a lot cheaper than it used to ever be. But it'll also mean that playing on the go will be easier. Unlike look at like the PSP, which had those weird universal
yeah.
discs.
It's okay, everyone. Nintendo's using cartridges. This isn't the N64.
Right?
Like,
So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how
Relax.
that goes. But I think the big thing in the end will really be this is the
Third
big thing.
party.
This is a sampling of the third parties and companies working with Nintendo. Some of the names on there are pretty, you know them from before. They're companies that supported Nintendo in some way. Capcom, Bandai Namco, Sega has been big. Other big ones on there, the cool things to look out for is that the Platinum Games logo's on there. This could mean Bayonetta. This could be a new series altogether. Some standouts for me was FromSoft. They're the makers of Dark Souls. Portable Dark Souls would be great. So then I can get angry in public while getting myself murdered in Dark Souls. A couple other big names on there that definitely just stand out to me. Epic Games, which I don't know the last time if they've ever made a game for a Nintendo console. Now the new system is using the Unreal 4 engine, like most systems are using now, but I don't usually the Epic Games logo is usually just for games. So we'll see what possibly comes with that way. The other big one is Bethesda is up there, and again, I don't know the last time if they've ever made a a regular game for a Nintendo system, because the Fallouts have never made it. Elder Scrolls have never made it. The trailer makes it look very much like it is playing Skyrim. Bethesda won't confirm it. Bethesda's only confirming that they're working with Nintendo to make games for this system. But who knows? I mean, we could get Skyrim, the Ultimate Edition.
Isn't that coming out?
That is coming out soon for the other consoles and the PC. But it could also be coming out in March with that, and with, you know, Legend of Zelda skins or something in the game, you know, for you and whatnot, because Nintendo's been big skin wise that way. I mean, there are some cool companies on here that make some great games, so hopefully, in that instance, it looks like there's a decent third-party support. Hopefully it'll stay, too.
See, I felt like that with the Wii U when we first saw it. Like, we saw Assassin's Creed come to the Wii U, and we saw NBA 2K, which was also featured in the trailer. But after a while, you saw the third party start to slip because, I guess, of hardware capabilities. So, which goes back to how strong is this going to be, and
Exactly, and I think...
will third party stay on?
Will third party stay on? You know, I think that's going to be a huge question going forward. It looks like Nintendo, at least at this point, is saying, hey, these are the third parties who are already jumping on for this system, which is bigger than they've had prior. I mean, the Wii U didn't really have a huge third-party presence. They had a couple of the bigger names on there at the beginning.
Yep.
Ubisoft, EA, but EA quickly jumped ship because they didn't put much on there. And then Ubisoft, you know, put some stuff out, but then other titles were crossed, or the system was just kind of left behind.
Yeah.
Because of the, just, you know, the overall capabilities of the Wii U. We'll see where this goes. Hopefully this means that, you know, the system is obviously more powerful than Nintendo has done before, because of just the companies that are going to be making games for it right now. Again, like I said, seeing Bethesda, seeing Epic Games, seeing Take-Two Interactive on there. These are companies that have have big games, or they have larger games in their publishing catalog that could eventually show up.
Right. I feel like it doesn't need to be as strong as a PS4 or Xbox One graphics wise, but it needs to be strong enough where games getting ported, you know, they'll miss the opportunity to go on the Switch. You know what I'm saying?
I think with it coming forward, I think the system will probably be graphically on par.
Yeah.
Hopefully with what's out there currently, if not maybe a little bit better just for right now, because we know that next year Xbox is going to Scorpio, with 4K gaming. Computers, you know, regular computer gamers are already going 4K gaming. I think the other question will really be is that, you know, how powerful it's going to be is going to be a big question. But then how powerful is it going to be, and what's that going to do to a battery for playing this on the go with other people? I see this being a really cool convention system where you could play it with other people while you're waiting in line, just having fun at like a gaming convention like PAX or Comic-Con or one of those ones. So there's a lot of questions, and unfortunately Nintendo's not going to give us anything until probably beginning of next year. I don't think we're going to get a lot of time. I don't think we're going to get a lot of advance, you know, because this was kind of dropped in, I think, like right after Christmas ends. I think that's when they'll kind of come in and be like, hey, this is our system. You have 3 months to kind of look at it, you know, figure out what's this going to be for you. Because end of February, beginning of March is kind of the start of the big video game release season again.
Next to PAX East?
Next to PAX East. That, I think for me, as someone who goes to PAX a lot and hopefully, you know, and likes working the convention, just having fun there, the question is, will this come out before PAX East? And then it'll have a huge presence with people who are playing it at PAX, just, you know, going around the convention? Or is this going to be one of those ones that comes out after? And that's going to be what people are talking about at PAX leading up to it. A lot of questions for it, but I mean, for right now, that's kind of the big thing. I mean, you know, these publishers are where things are going to go. I mean, and, you know, the Switch, I think the name was cool. I know it needs to grow on you a little bit.
I like the NX a lot.
The NX. I mean, for me right now, it kind of has a very yin-yang kind of logo. The idea of the two controllers, you know, one way versus the other, I think is cool. But I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I am hoping to pre-order one as soon as they're available.
Me too. But one more question. What does this mean for the 3DS?
I think the 3DS is still going to be around because, I mean, right now, they haven't given me anything to say that this could replace the 3DS
Right.
other than they're going to do major games on the go.
We're still getting Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Pokemon Sun and Moon are coming out, and the Nintendo install base on the 3DS is over 60 million.
Yeah.
So they have a huge install base that they're probably going to continue on for a couple more years.
But after that, is there going to be a new handheld system, or are we just staying with the Switch?
I don't know. I think Nintendo may go for they could just go push towards the Switch. This may be Nintendo's way of kind of saying goodbye to the other systems. I mean, the Wii U is already kind of
Gone.
The Wii U is gone. The last great title for it will be The Legend of Zelda, but that was also the same instance with the GameCube. That was the last great title that came out for it. I think that'll send off the Wii U. But other than that, I mean, Nintendo may just be going that way. I mean, I think the 3DS will be around for a long time, continuing forward with the handheld market just as is. But I see it being as a second place with this other one. I see them going to aiming more for adults with the Switch and younger, and the younger audience for the DS. And with that, I just that's what the Switch looks like. It looks like it's going to be that kind of system. I'm excited for it. I mean, I don't know if it'll replace my DS because in the same instance, it is a rather large device to carry around.
So fit your 3DS in a pocket.
Yeah, I mean, my 3DS, although even the larger screen 3DS can still fit in my pocket, I don't know how great I feel about traveling around with that yet. Like what kind of screen protector do I need for it?
Go see everyone with tote bags.
Yeah, everyone, I got like I'm already walking around with an extra battery pack just to charge my phone if I play Pokemon Go. I don't know what kind of apparatus I'm going to need to carry around to play this.
Imagine a mainstream Pokemon game with the Switch.
And I think that would be a big
amazing.
thing too. The Pokemon game, think Sun and Moon, hey, a new stadium type game would be really cool.
Or
main RPG.
Yeah.
And then what's the wireless capability? How well does it play on? And is Nintendo's online infrastructure going to be good enough at that point to support multiplayer games to the capacity that people want to play them?
Exactly.
So I mean, I think that's all we have on the Switch today. But I mean,
I'm excited.
I'm super excited too. Everyone I knew on Facebook, barring I think one or two people who like video games, were super excited for it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see where Nintendo goes from here, and hopefully, now that it is official, information will start flowing out slowly from the different companies on, what they're coming up with and what's going to happen. So,
one more thing. I keep saying one more thing,
of course.
but if we're taking this on the go, like imagine a household of like 4 or 5 people,
right?
You're gonna need more than one Switch.
You're going to need
tablet, probably. And will they sell them separately? Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, I'm thinking the Switch itself, because they've already shown, at least in some of the pictures, like, oh, hey, you can multiplayer on the same Switch.
That's true.
Like Mario Kart 1. I think the big, and the bigger titles so far that they've shown where you're playing this way were like The Legend of Zelda or things of that nature. I think the other question is, will there be like will there be video streaming? Will this be 4K for video but not for gaming? Or there's a lot of questions right now, and Nintendo is some specs have shown up that we know it's NVIDIA, we know it's a custom Terga inside, but other than that, we don't really have the full specs on what it can do yet, and I'm guessing it's probably gonna be $300 or more, so a lot of people probably are gonna want more than one.
But I'm just saying, if I want to take Zelda on the go and my brother wants to play it, it's like,
Or in the same instance, if you have if you have a Wii U gamepad, can you attach the Wii U gamepad sensory to that and play that way? Who knows? I mean, we'll see what Nintendo's going to do. But yeah, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to doing more on this system. So.
Me too. Exciting. All right, until next time then.
I'm Matthew Jones.
I'm Anthony Fatia.
If you have any questions or whatnot or anything else you'd like us to cover, put them in the comments below. And have a good day.